We are living our thoughts. Every action, every circumstance, every moment of our life began as a single thought in your mind. Think of it as sowing seeds. You sow a thought. You reap an action. You harvest a reality. Your thoughts are the soil from which your world grows. If you plant frustration, you cultivate conflict. If you plant fear, you cultivate limitation. But when you plant a thought of possibility, you begin to cultivate opportunity. When you plant a thought of gratitude, you begin to cultivate abundance. Consider this. Every habit you practice, every decision you make, every dream or regret you carry, all of these started with a thought, repeated until it became belief, and belief until it became reality. We rarely question the origin of our circumstances, yet every outcome in your life is simply the echo of a thought pattern you've carried long enough to manifest. So here's the news. You don't have to wait for your environment to change, you only have to change your mind. Because the moment you shift what you think, you begin to shift what you act. And when your actions change, your world responds in kind. This is the power you hold. The power to choose your thoughts and, with them, to choose your destiny. It's not magic. It's principle. It's the universal law of cause and effect at work in your favor. Today's invitation is simple. Become aware of the seeds you're planting. Notice where your mind drifts first thing in the morning. Catch the thoughts that bubble up during the day. And when you detect a pattern that no longer serves you, uproot it and replace it with a seed of your own design. One that aligns with who you truly want to be. Your future isn't written in the stars. It's written in your head. And because thoughts are like seeds, you can always choose to plant something new. You can choose to sow thoughts of courage, creativity, and deep self-worth. You can choose to sow thoughts of clear intention, unwavering faith, and limitless possibility. As you let these new thoughts take root, you'll notice your actions changing. You'll start to see doors you never noticed before. You'll discover ideas you never imagined. You'll attract people you never expected, because the universe responds to your internal climate, not to your external wish list. So as we begin this journey together, remember, your mind is your garden. Whatever grows in your garden grows in your life. Choose wisely. Plant with purpose. Nurture your new thoughts with attention and emotion. And watch as your entire world transforms. One thought at a time. Why you don't manifest the life you want, you wake up in it. Most people think manifestation is about getting what you want. They think it's a process of doing more, thinking harder, visualizing longer, scripting better. As if the universe is waiting for us to crack the perfect combination of affirmations to finally release what we desire. But what if I told you? You're not here to manifest the life you want. You're here to remember the one that's already yours. The new truth is this: you don't manifest your desires, you wake up in them. You don't chase the dream, you shift to the reality where that dream is already real. This isn't semantics, it's a total reframe of how creation works. Let me explain. Your current reality, the one you're sitting in right now, isn't fixed. It's not permanent. It's not your fate. It's just a snapshot of where your frequency is most consistently tuned. Like a radio dial. If you've been tuned to 93.5 FM, that's the station you hear. You don't blame the radio. You don't try to force the music to change, you just change the frequency. And when you change your frequency, you change your reality. That's what this book is about. That's what this moment in your life is about. It's not about effort, it's about entry. It's not about waiting, it's about waking up. So how do you wake up in a new reality? You stop thinking of your desires as distant things you must earn, prove, or become worthy of. You start seeing them as versions of reality that already exist, waiting for you to match them vibrationally. This is where the conscious mind and the subconscious must become one. The conscious mind is the commander. It sets the vision. The subconscious mind is the creator. It executes what it believes to be real. And here's the key most people miss. You don't get what you want, you get what your subconscious believes is already yours. So if you're living in lack, it's not because you're not visualizing hard enough. It's because your subconscious doesn't recognize abundance as safe, normal, or familiar. But here's the good news. That can change, and it can change fast. Your subconscious can be rewritten. Your frequency can be raised. Your timeline can be shifted. You don't need years of struggle. You need alignment. And alignment happens when you feel, speak, breathe, and believe from the version of you who already has it. That's what this series of truths is for. Each one is a tuning fork. Each one is a frequency adjustment. You're not here to do more. You're here to wake up from the illusion that you don't already have it. Because the deeper truth is this. If your desires were not meant for you, you wouldn't feel them. You wouldn't dream them. You wouldn't carry them like seeds waiting to bloom. Desire is not selfish. Desire is sacred instruction. And now, you're learning how to receive those instructions without resistance. You're stepping out of the loop of striving and into the state of knowing. Because the more you align with your new reality, the more your old one fades. And that's when the shift happens. You wake up. And what once felt like a fantasy, feels like home. Conscious mind equals commander. Subconscious mind equals creator. Agreement equals power. Let's go deeper into how your reality is actually constructed, because most people don't manifest what they want. They manifest what they expect. An expectation is informed in the conscious mind. It's coded into the subconscious. The conscious mind is your commander. It chooses the vision. The subconscious mind is your creator. It brings that vision into form, but only when it accepts it as true. Now, here's where things break down for most people. They say what they want consciously, but they believe something entirely different subconsciously. They affirm abundance while feeling scarcity. They visualize love while expecting abandonment. They write goals while secretly doubting they'll ever reach them. This mismatch creates energetic noise, and noise doesn't manifest miracles. Only alignment does. Alignment is when your conscious declaration and your subconscious belief are in sync. When they agree, not in conflict, reality bends to match that unity. That's spiritual technology. This isn't just mystical, it's measurable. Science confirms that your subconscious controls over 90% of your behavior and automatic responses. It's the operating system behind the scenes. And here's the powerful truth. Your subconscious doesn't understand logic. It responds to feeling, repetition, and identity. It doesn't care what you want. It cares what you believe is normal. That's why change can feel so hard. It's not just about new thoughts. It's about reprogramming old belief loops, but you can reprogram it. You do that by repeating a new truth until it feels more real than the old one. You do that by holding the right emotion long enough for it to stick. You do that by shifting who you think you are, not just what you do. Think of your conscious mind like the captain of a ship. It gives the orders, but the subconscious is the crew. And if the crew has old instructions running on autopilot, the ship will never go where you say. It'll go where it's programmed. So how do we reprogram it? We align emotion with thought. We feel the reality of the desire, not just think about it. We speak it, write it, breathe it into being. We visualize not as wishful thinkers, but as selective rememberers. Because the subconscious responds to consistency and familiarity. When you make your new truth feel normal, your subconscious accepts it as real, and once it does, your behavior changes automatically. Your energy changes. Your decisions change. Your world changes. That's why this book works. Each truth you read isn't just a concept, it's a recalibration. A new command from the conscious mind, aimed straight at the creator within you. The more you hold these truths, the more the subconscious adapts, and when both parts of your mind are in agreement, that's when manifestation becomes inevitable. The metaphor of sunset and sunrise. You're stepping into day one. There's a sacred moment most people overlook. It's not some milestone or life event, it's the moment the sun sets, and a new cycle silently begins. Every night, the world turns. Darkness comes. And without effort, without announcement, the world transitions into something entirely new. The same is true for you. Right now, your old life is fading like dusk. Not because something's been taken from you, but because something greater is calling you forward. And it all begins when you decide, tonight, my old life ends. Tomorrow I rise into my new reality. Let that settle in your body. This isn't just poetry, it's process. Because your subconscious is most impressionable when you're in the edge states, right before sleep and right after waking. That's the doorway. If you fall asleep tonight carrying fear, regret, or old identity scripts, you carry that frequency straight into tomorrow. But if you fall asleep declaring that this is the end, that you've chosen the shift, your subconscious will follow. You see, transformation doesn't begin with action, it begins with a decision, and that decision gains power when it's made at night. When your mind is soft, your ego is tired, and your soul is listening. So what does this look like? Tonight, you don't just go to sleep. You go to sleep like you're laying your old self to rest. You silence the stories. You release the limitations. You say goodbye to the version of you that settled, doubted, feared, waited. You don't mourn that self. You honor it because that self carried you here, but it's not the one that's going to carry you forward. Tomorrow, You wake up not as a better version of the same you. You wake up as the version of you that always existed beneath the programming, the one who walks in truth, the one who speaks reality into existence, the one who doesn't just talk about what's possible, the one who lives it. Your future doesn't need more effort, it needs a reset. And that reset begins with a declaration. So tonight, before you close your eyes, I want you to say this. My old life ends tonight. When I wake up, I will step into my new truth. This is day one, and I am ready. Breathe that in, let your body absorb it, let your subconscious record it. Let every cell in your being mark this moment as the shift. Because your old reality is only held together by belief. And once you stop believing in it, once you stop returning to it emotionally, it collapses. The sunrise doesn't need your permission, but your new life does. So give it, choose it. Tonight. The identity shift that begins it all. This is the foundational truth. The truth that cracks open the shell of doubt and awakens the soul. Your desires are already yours. Because you exist. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to hustle, strive, or outperform anyone to be worthy. You are worthy by default. You are a divine expression of life itself, carrying a unique frequency that matches the desires born within you. Think about this. Where do your desires come from? They don't show up randomly. They emerge from within you because you are the only vessel capable of birthing them into form. That means your desires chose you as much as you chose them. Let that sink in. Your desire for abundance, for love, for peace, for creative freedom, it exists not to tease you, but to lead you. To pull you forward into the highest expression of who you already are. So when you say, my desires are already mine, what you're really saying is, I no longer wait to feel aligned. I am aligned by nature. This is an identity shift. You move from hoping to knowing, you shift from wanting to remembering. You start living from the truth that you're not missing anything. You're simply uncovering what's already within you. And when you believe that, really believe it, something unlocks in your energy field. You stop emitting desperation. You stop begging the universe. You stop leaking your power. And you begin to attract from alignment, not effort. This is the beginning of every manifestation that lasts. Not the outer work, but the inner agreement. Because I exist, I am worthy. Because I exist, my desires are valid. Because I exist, everything I'm asking for is already being delivered. No one can take that from you, and no circumstance can disprove it, unless you believe the circumstance more than you believe the truth. So starting today, we flip the script. You don't act like you're trying to get something you don't have. You act like someone who already owns it, and is just walking through the steps of remembering. Feel the difference in that. It's subtle, but it's everything. Because when you wake up each morning and say, my desires are already mine because I exist, you stop chasing timelines, you stop comparing paths, and you start walking like someone who's already living in the promise, not eventually, now. How to lock in a vibration so the universe responds. There's a little known truth that changes everything about how you manifest. You don't need hours of meditation to shift your reality. You need 18 seconds of focus. That's it. Just 18 seconds of aligned, uninterrupted thought to begin rewiring your frequency. Because 18 seconds is the point where the energy of emotion meets the magnetism of the subconscious. Here's how it works. Your brain runs on loops, quick bursts of thought, most of them automatic. They come and go in milliseconds. But when you hold a thought for just 17 to 20 seconds, you begin building a neural bridge, a pathway that signals, this is important. And once your brain marks it as important, it tells the subconscious, store this, run this, make this part of our identity. Now, the game changes. Because when your subconscious gets involved, it starts reshaping your habits, your energy, your opportunities, everything. The Heart Math Institute has shown us that the heart has its own neural network. It's not just a pump, it's a second brain, and it communicates through feeling. So what happens when you think a thought, and combine it with emotion, and hold it for 18 seconds? You create a magnetic field that begins pulling reality into alignment. That's not theory. That's field physics. That's what you're doing every day, whether you realize it or not. But most people can't hold a single thought for more than 4 or 5 seconds without their mind jumping. Try it. Think about your desire right now. Just one. A new home. A healthy relationship. Financial freedom. Now hold the vision, not the words, the feeling, the reality of it. Let your mind sit in that scene for 18 seconds. Feel the textures. Hear the sounds. Experience the version of you already living in it. Most people will feel their mind wander by second 6 or 7. That's not failure. That's training, and here's the good news, you can train your brain to hold power longer. Because every time you do, you strengthen your ability to attract what you want without needing to chase it. This is why short, intentional rituals work. Why spoken affirmations repeated with feeling are powerful. Why visualizations with emotion become portals. The 18-second rule is how you tell the universe. This is what I want. This is what I'm feeling, and this is what I'm ready to receive. And when your energy is consistent, the universe doesn't delay. It matches. So from now on, you have a tool in your pocket that costs nothing and takes less than a minute. Focus plus feeling plus 18 seconds. That's your recipe. That's your power. You don't need more time. You need more presence, and with that presence, your life begins to shift. Second by second. Why choosing is more powerful than chasing. There's a huge difference between chasing something and choosing it. Most people spend their entire lives chasing. Chasing money. Chasing love. Chasing status. Chasing happiness. But here's the problem with chasing. It always puts the thing you want outside of you. It says, I don't have it yet. It says, it's over there, and I'm over here. Chasing reinforces distance, and distance reinforces lack. You can't manifest what you're pushing away with your vibration, because energetically, chasing screams not yet. And the universe always echoes back your most consistent frequency. But choosing shifts everything. When you choose something, you claim it, you decide it's yours. You align your thoughts, emotions, and behavior with the version of you who already has it. Choosing brings power. Choosing collapses timelines. Choosing says, I no longer seek permission from life to have what I desire, I choose it now. I embody it now. I move as if it's already mine. Let's go deeper. When you chase a person, they pull away. When you chase a goal, it seems to move farther out. But the moment you stop chasing and start becoming, the thing you want starts to move toward you, because your vibration no longer says I need it. It says, I am the one who already holds it. This isn't ego, this is alignment, and you have to understand, life responds to who you believe you are, not what you beg for. If you keep saying, I want it, I want it, I want it, you'll keep getting more opportunities to want. But the moment you shift to, this is my chosen reality, I am the version of me who lives this now. You start commanding. You stop attracting from lack and start receiving from identity. Choosing means showing up in the energy of having. It means walking like it's yours. Speaking like it's yours. Making decisions like it's already part of your story. And when the subconscious sees that level of consistency, it says, this must be who we are now. And the universe agrees. So today, drop the chase. Stop running after your desires like they're escaping you. Stand in your power and choose. Choose the life. Choose the love. Choose the success. Choose the ease. Choose the peace. Not because you've earned it, not because you've suffered enough, but because you're finally aligned with the truth. You're not here to chase. You're here to choose. And once you choose, reality has no choice but to respond. Why your internal contracts shape your external reality. There's a quiet agreement running your life right now. You didn't sign it with a pen. You didn't say it out loud, but your subconscious is honoring it every single day. It's the agreement of identity, the one that says, this is what I deserve. This is what I allow. This is what's normal for me. And the subconscious doesn't question the contract. It doesn't ask whether it's outdated. It doesn't check whether it's serving you. It just runs the program. This is why you can work hard, visualize daily, and still stay stuck. Because underneath the effort is an unspoken agreement that contradicts the outcome. Maybe it says, money only comes through struggle. Or, I'm always the one who gets left behind. Or, I never follow through. The details don't matter, the structure does. Because once the subconscious agrees to a story, it creates behavior to match. And here's the key. The subconscious keeps you safe, not successful. So if success feels unfamiliar, risky, or unearned, it will keep you from it. Not out of sabotage, out of loyalty, to the contract it believes you want. But what if you could rewrite the agreement? You can. And it starts with becoming conscious of what you've agreed to in the first place. So ask yourself, what beliefs am I carrying about love, money, health, purpose? Where do I say one thing, but live something else? What outcome keeps repeating? And what subconscious belief is making it feel safe? You have to bring these shadow agreements into the light, because once you do, they lose power. Then you create a new one. You speak it. You write it. You feel it as truth. You say, I now agree to abundance. I agree to peace. I agree to effortless success. I agree to receive without guilt or delay. The more you reinforce that new contract with emotion and repetition, the more the subconscious shifts. And when it does, your external world begins to follow suit. Suddenly, you start making different decisions. You start noticing new opportunities. You stop settling. You stop self-sabotaging. You stop repeating the past, because the old agreement has been dissolved, and a new one now governs your life. So today, I invite you to write it down. I now align with the version of me who no longer chases. I no longer fear. I no longer wait. I now agree to live the life I was born to live. Sign it. Read it aloud. Feel it become real. Because your subconscious listens, and once it hears that message enough, it will believe it, and your reality will obey it. Shift your reflection by shifting your inner image. Here's a truth that will completely reframe how you look at your life. Reality doesn't shape you. You shape reality. Because reality is a mirror, not a mold. Most people believe their environment determines who they become. They wait for better circumstances before they allow themselves to feel successful, worthy, safe, or happy. But what if it's actually reversed? What if everything you're experiencing right now is just a reflection of what you've consistently believed and emotionally rehearsed within? Because that's exactly what's happening. Your reality is not molding you, it's mirroring you. It's echoing your dominant thoughts and self-perceptions, especially the ones you repeat silently. Think of a mirror. You can't wait for it to smile first. You have to smile first. Only then will the mirror respond. Life works the same way. You want to see confidence reflected in your world? Be confident. First. You want to see abundance? Feel abundant. First. You want to be respected? Start respecting yourself. First. Waiting for reality to change before you do is like staring at a mirror, frowning, and hoping it smiles back. It won't. Because reality isn't reacting to what you say you want. It's responding to the signal you're broadcasting, and that signal is built from your identity, what you expect, allow, and believe to be true about yourself. So if you don't like what you're seeing, don't attack the mirror. Don't try to rearrange your circumstances from the outside in. Go inward, ask yourself, what part of me is being reflected back right now? And then shift that. Because the moment you shift your inner perception, the mirror shifts with you. That's why internal work matters more than external action. That's why visualizing works when it's done with emotion, not just imagination. That's why people who feel lucky usually are, because they've already aligned their inner world with what they want to experience, and the mirror has no choice but to comply. So here's a simple exercise. Every morning, before checking your phone or jumping into tasks, ask yourself, what do I want reality to reflect today? Then feel that energy first. Stand in it. Breathe it. Walk into your day already embodying it. Because when you do, the world around you begins to take shape, not because it changed, but because you did. You are not here to fit into a mold created by your past. You are here to reflect the version of yourself you now choose to be, and once that inner image becomes clear, the outer mirror follows. Activating the power of affirmations and intention. Every word you speak is an instruction to the universe. Words aren't just sound, they are vibrational commands that shape your frequency, form your identity, and create momentum in your external world. Your words are wands. They cast spells on your life, your body, your emotions, and your future. And most people have no idea they're doing it all day long. Think about it. How often do you say things like, well, I'm broke. I'm so tired. I can't figure it out. Nothing ever works for me. Now ask yourself, if a magician repeated those phrases as spells, what kind of world would they create? Exactly the one you're in. That's how powerful your language is, because the subconscious is always listening, always recording, always responding. It doesn't process sarcasm. It doesn't wait for you to mean it. It accepts repetition as reality. So if you constantly speak what you don't want, you're cementing it, vibrationally. But here's the good news. The moment you become conscious of your words, you take back your magic. You realize you can declare, affirm, speak, and create with your voice. You can say, I'm becoming clearer every day. Money flows to me easily. Everything always works out for me. I attract aligned opportunities. I'm supported, I'm seen, I'm ready. And when you say it often enough with emotion, belief starts to take root. And belief leads to behavior, and behavior leads to reality. You don't say affirmations to convince the universe. You say them to reprogram yourself, so you act, decide, and move like someone who already owns that truth. So here's a simple shift you can make right now. Start monitoring your casual phrases. Replace complaint with creation. Replace self-doubt with self-command. Instead of, "I'm always overwhelmed," try, "I'm learning to navigate everything with ease." Instead of, "This always happens to me," try, "I'm shifting. I attract better now." Let your mouth become your mirror. Let your language become your ladder. And when you speak, speak with presence, speak with clarity, speak with the power of someone who knows. My words shape my world. My voice carries vibration, and every sentence I speak is either a spell I live by, or a spell I break. Use your words wisely, because every time you speak, you cast. What to say before bed to program your morning reality. There is a window every single day when your power to shape reality multiplies. It's not in the hustle. It's not during the workday. It's in the quiet. Just before you fall asleep. Because the final thoughts you think before sleep don't just drift off into the night, they go straight into your subconscious mind, where they replay on a loop while you sleep. Your mind is most programmable in the moments between wakefulness and rest. This is when your brain transitions into theta waves, deep, receptive, and wide open to suggestion. So if you drift off while thinking, "Nothing's working," "I'm stressed," "I'm behind," your subconscious receives those thoughts as instructions and begins to organize your inner chemistry and energy to recreate them the next day. But what if instead, you gave your mind a new truth to marinate in? What if you programmed your subconscious with certainty, peace, and alignment before you entered the dream state? That's where the night ritual comes in. It's simple, it's short, and it's one of the most powerful tools in your manifestation toolbox. Here's how it works. Right before bed. No phone, no distractions. Close your eyes, place your attention on your heart, and say, "Tomorrow I wake up in my new reality. I am done with the old story. I release all limitations now. I choose to remember the truth. My desires are already mine." You don't have to force belief. You don't have to repeat it 100 times. You just have to mean it once, and then relax into it like you're drifting into a dream you've already lived. Feel it for 18 seconds. That's all it takes. Let your body soften. Let your energy settle and let the version of you who already lives the dream begin to take form, in silence. This is how you create alignment while you rest. You don't wake up in alignment by accident. You prepare your field before sleep, so when morning comes, you're already tuned. You open your eyes not with anxiety, but with intention. Not with regret, but with readiness. You've planted the seed, and now your subconscious is watering it overnight. So tonight, don't just go to bed. Use that moment as a doorway, as a sacred transition, as the closing of one chapter and the quiet beginning of the next. You'll be amazed what unfolds when your last thought of the night is, "This is the end of who I was. When I rise as who I've chosen to be." Sweet dreams, Creator. If this message speaks to you, take a moment right now, click subscribe. I've got more to share that can shift your life. I want you to be one of the people I help step into abundance, joy, and true freedom. Let's build this new reality together. What to do when doubt or fear shows up. Let's get real for a moment. You've probably felt it. That invisible wall. That tight feeling in your chest, that moment of hesitation when you're about to do something aligned, and then something inside pulls back. That's resistance, and most people interpret it as a stop sign. They think, if I feel this way, maybe I'm not ready. Maybe it's not meant for me, maybe I should slow down. But here's the truth. Resistance isn't a sign to stop. It's a signal that something powerful is shifting. You only feel resistance when you're bumping against a belief that's about to be rewritten. Think of it like growing pains. When your nervous system is expanding to accommodate a new reality. The old self flinches. Not because it's right, but because it's familiar. The subconscious is wired to protect your current identity, even if that identity is limiting. So when you try to shift timelines, when you start thinking bigger, speaking differently, moving with confidence, the subconscious panics. It says, "Whoa, that's not safe, that's not what we're used to. Go back to what's known." But here's the upgrade. You don't retreat, you reframe. You say, "This resistance means I'm stretching, this tightness means my energy is reorganizing, this fear is just the friction of transformation." You don't fight the resistance, you listen to it, but not as truth. You listen to it as a directional cue. Because resistance usually isn't saying, you can't. It's saying, are you sure? It's testing your certainty. And when you meet it with grounded conviction, it dissolves. So the next time fear shows up, thank it. The next time doubt appears, smile. The next time you feel that heaviness in your chest, remind yourself, this is not a blockage, this is a recalibration. Resistance means you're on the edge of change. It means the old wiring is short-circuiting, because it can't hold the energy of the new you, so let it burn off, let it rise up, and pass through. And instead of resisting the resistance, use it as confirmation that you're right where you need to be. Because the only reason you're feeling pressure is because something inside you is expanding, and the version of you on the other side of that resistance, he's lighter, she's clearer, they're already free. Keep going. Why waiting is the enemy of creation. There's a silent lie that keeps more people stuck than failure ever will. It sounds innocent, even responsible. It's one word: someday. Someday I'll launch the business. Someday I'll heal. Someday I'll be ready to live differently. But here's the truth. Someday is a myth. It's a mental waiting room. It looks like planning, but feels like fear. And the more you use it, the further your dream drifts. Because the subconscious hears someday and says, okay, not now, we'll hold. And the universe reflects that back. No momentum, no movement, just mirrors of postponement. But here's what you need to remember. There is no perfect moment coming. There is no magical alignment out there waiting for you to be more ready. There is only now. Right now, this breath, this second, is the only place creation happens. The future is not a time, it's a frequency. And when you embody that frequency in the now, you collapse time. Suddenly, the things you thought were years away, they start showing up. Not because you chase them, but because you finally match them. This is why we say, live as if your desires are already yours. Not to play pretend, but to send a signal that says, this is normal for me now. And when you live that way, someday becomes today. So let's shift the language. Instead of, someday I'll be confident, say, confidence is my state now. I'm learning to walk in it. Instead of, someday I'll leave this job, say, I'm preparing my exit now. I've already chosen a new path. Instead of, someday I'll believe in myself, say, I'm choosing belief today, even if it's just 1% more than yesterday. Because your subconscious doesn't need you to be perfect, it needs you to be present and persistent. One aligned decision today is worth more than 1,000 intentions you'll get around to later. And guess what? Later doesn't exist. There's only now. And now is more than enough, so if you're looking for a sign to start, this is it. You don't need another book. You don't need more time. You don't need permission. You need to trust that your dream is already available, and your job is to stop rescheduling your destiny. Because someday never arrives. But your power? It's here now. Use it. Learn to control the signal you're broadcasting. You've heard it said before, everything is energy. But what does that really mean in practical terms? It means that you are a broadcasting tower, 24 hours a day. Your body is vibrating. Your mind is transmitting, and your emotional state is the frequency you're beaming into the world. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. Because the universe doesn't respond to words. It responds to frequency. That's why affirmations alone don't work, unless they're felt. It's not about what you say. It's about the signal behind it. You could say, I'm wealthy, 1,000 times, but if your body is humming with stress and fear, your true broadcast is I'm scared, I'm lacking, I don't believe it yet. And that's what the universe responds to, consistently. The truth is, energy doesn't lie. You can fake positivity, you can fake hustle, you can even fake confidence. But your energetic field tells the truth. It broadcasts your baseline self-image, and magnetizes people, opportunities, and situations to match that image, like a cosmic algorithm. So what's the solution? Become aware of your energy. Learn to shift it, not through force, but through awareness. Your energy is made up of 3 things. Your dominant thoughts, your emotional state, your nervous system's baseline, safe versus stressed. Shift any of those 3, and your frequency changes. Here's how you start. Throughout the day, pause and ask, what am I broadcasting right now? Not what you're saying, not what you're doing, what you're feeling underneath it all. Then choose a new signal. You can breathe in calm. You can visualize alignment. You can feel into a memory that resonates with love, power, or joy. and hold it, just for 18 seconds. This small recalibration sends a new pulse out into the field, and the field always answers your signal. That's why we don't need to chase. We tune. We don't beg the universe to listen. We become so internally coherent that the external world can't help but mirror it. So from now on, don't ask, how do I make it happen? Ask, what energy do I need to become to receive what's already mine? Because the truth is, you're already emitting a signal. Make it intentional, make it aligned, and let the universe do what it does best. Match you. Turn negative loops into launch codes. Let's talk about the silent saboteur of your success. That running mental script most people don't even realize is shaping their reality. It's called stinkin' thinking. Those automatic, habitual thoughts rooted in fear, guilt, lack, or limitation. The voice that whispers, you're too late. You're not enough. Who are you to think this will work? This always happens to you. It's sneaky, it sounds like your own voice, but it's not truth. It's programming, and if you're not actively replacing it, you're reinforcing it. Stinkin' thinking is the vibrational glue that holds your old reality in place. It doesn't matter how hard you work or how many books you read, if your inner dialogue is still dripping with doubt, you'll keep looping the same patterns. But here's the shift, stinkin' thinking isn't the enemy, it's the alarm. It's not proof that you're failing, it's proof that you've become aware. You can't transform what you don't recognize. And the moment you catch a limiting thought is the moment you can use it as a springboard. That's what I did when I was homeless. I'd catch my mind replaying old losses, pain, regret, and instead of spiraling, I would interrupt it. I'd say to myself, nope. That's stinkin' thinking, let's shift right now. And I'd immediately declare, the people and the money to support my dream are entering my life now. That one habit rewired my brain. It turned negativity into fuel, because every time I noticed a negative loop, I didn't fight it. I flipped it. I used it to affirm what I wanted, not what I feared. So here's how you make this practical. Catch the thought. Don't judge it. Just notice. Name it. Call it what it is. Stinkin' thinking. Replace it. Immediately declare a new truth out loud, even if you don't fully believe it yet. You might say, this thought is old code. I'm writing something new. I release that pattern now, my reality is built from my new truth. You don't need to suppress the old thoughts. You just need to stop rehearsing them. Every time you do this, you teach your subconscious, we don't live there anymore. And soon, the loop weakens. The triggers dissolve. The old script fades, and in its place, you begin broadcasting clarity, power, vision. So remember, your thoughts are not facts, they're just patterns, and patterns can be broken the moment you choose a new one. Use stinkin' thinking as a switch, a trigger to wake up, refocus, and speak your truth instead of your fear. That's how you take your power back. One thought at a time. Collapse time and embody your end result. You keep thinking that the version of you who has it all is out there in the future, some evolved self you'll grow into once you work harder, heal more, figure it all out. But what if I told you? That version of you already exists. Right now. Not in some fantasy timeline. In this one, waiting for your alignment. You are not becoming that version, you are remembering it, because you've already been carrying the blueprint. The wisdom, the frequency, the power, the only thing that's been in the way is a story, a filter of beliefs that said you had to wait, struggle, or earn your way there. But none of that is true. You don't evolve into your dream self, you activate them. Right now. And here's how you do it. You stop asking what that version has, and you start asking how they think, how they walk, how they decide, how they feel on a Tuesday morning when no one's watching. Then you embody that, you move as if your vision is already fulfilled. Not because you're faking it, but because you understand that identity creates outcomes. You collapse the timeline by collapsing the emotional gap. Because the only thing separating you from the life you want is the belief that you're not already capable of living it. This is what quantum manifestation is really about. It's not magic. It's matching. You don't beg for blessings. You become the person who lives inside them, and you do that through your language, your posture, your routines, your responses to fear. Your energy when no one's looking, you begin showing the universe. This is who I am now. And the universe, like a mirror, shifts to reflect that. So pause and feel this. If I was already that version of me, the one who has the love, the wealth, the peace, the purpose, how would I breathe today? What would I stop tolerating? What would I invest in? How would I show up? Even when it's quiet. You don't need to wait for the conditions to match. You need to align your state and let the world catch up. Because once you become the energetic match, the delay dissolves. Reality catches fire. Doors open without knocking. So stop waiting. Start remembering. You are already the version of you who has it all. Now walk like it. Decide like it. Live like it. Using small wins to lock in momentum. Everyone talks about quantum leaps and major breakthroughs, but what if the real shift happens in the tiny moments you overlook? Manifestation doesn't only arrive with fireworks. It builds through small, sacred confirmations. Moments like catching a negative thought and flipping it. Feeling calm in a situation that used to trigger you, trusting your intuition without needing outside validation. Saying no to something that once kept you stuck. Saying yes to something your old self would have feared. These are micro moments of manifestation, and they matter more than you think. Because each time you respond differently, each time you choose alignment over anxiety, you're telling your subconscious, this is who we are now. You're shifting your baseline. You're reprogramming your nervous system. You're aligning with the version of you that no longer reacts the same way, and that creates momentum. See, your dream life isn't one giant leap away, it's a million tiny calibrations stacked on top of each other, like bricks forming a new structure of identity. When you recognize that, everything changes. You stop waiting for signs and start noticing that you are the sign. You stop needing big proof and start celebrating small evidence. You say, I caught myself doubting and chose differently. That's alignment. I paused before reacting, that's growth. I felt peace for no reason, that's manifestation taking root. Because the more you affirm those moments, the faster they multiply. And here's why this is so powerful. Your subconscious learns through repetition and emotionally charged feedback. So when you acknowledge a micro moment as a win, even if it feels small, you accelerate the rewiring process. You create a loop that sounds like awareness to aligned choice to emotional reward to reinforcement. Repeat loop. That's how you shift reality from the inside out. So let go of the pressure to have it all together. Instead, ask, how many micro moments can I celebrate today? Because if you celebrate the energy before the evidence comes faster. Manifestation doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It responds to consistency, and your consistency is made of tiny decisions: what you think, what you say, what you feel, what you choose. Stack those with intention, and soon, the big shift you were waiting for will be the natural result of 1,000 unseen choices. So today, walk into the world like someone who's already manifesting, not just in milestones, but in micro moments of truth, power, and peace. Stop forecasting, start claiming. Let's clear something up. Your future isn't out there, it's here. Now waiting for you to match it. We've been trained to push everything forward, to believe that the life we want is down the line. That once we learn more, heal more, do more, then it will arrive. But time isn't linear the way you think. In the quantum model, every version of you already exists, right now. There's a you who's wealthy. A you who's in love. A you who's healthy, confident, fulfilled, and fully expressed. They're not light years away. They're just vibrating on a slightly different frequency, so you're not chasing the future. You're choosing which version of now you want to occupy. That's why the mantra is, the future is now. Because when you stop postponing your power, you begin to activate timelines that would have taken years, instantly. Let's make this real. When you say, someday I'll feel worthy, your subconscious agrees, and schedules your worthiness for a date that never comes. But when you say, I choose to feel worthy today, you give your system permission to match it now. This is how timeline shifting works. It's not about controlling outcomes, it's about choosing states, and doing it now. Because everything you want isn't waiting for you to become perfect, it's waiting for you to become present. Present with your vision, present with your power, present with the reality you're ready to live in. So stop rehearsing your limitations, stop repeating your past, stop outsourcing your future to time, fate, or luck. The version of you you've been dreaming about? They're not far. They're just on the other side of now. So here's your shift. Instead of asking, when will it happen? Ask, how can I feel it now? Instead of saying, I'm not ready, say, I'm already aligned. Instead of waiting to live, start living as if the future already showed up. Because the moment you do, you'll realize something powerful. The future you were waiting for was just the present you hadn't claimed yet. What happens when you apply these truths, starting now? It's one thing to hear these ideas. It's another to see what happens when they're lived. Before this book was released, a small group of early readers, beta testers, were invited to work through the first 10 truths. They didn't have months. They didn't have perfect routines, all they had was willingness. What happened? Breakthroughs. Emotional release. Instant manifestations. Let me share just a few of their experiences. Unedited, unpolished, and unforgettable. Jasmine R. Beta reader? This isn't just another manifestation book, this shifted me. I've been doing the inner work for years, but something about these daily truths made it click. I woke up on day 5 with zero anxiety for the first time in months. Andre D., coach and early tester. By day 4, I felt like I had unplugged from my old timeline. Seriously. I meditated that night, said the bedtime ritual, and woke up the next morning like something snapped into alignment. By day 10, I landed a contract I had visualized 2 years ago. It just dropped into my lap. Marina V. Manifestation blogger. I didn't think something so simple could rewire my thoughts so fast, but it did. The 18-second technique is gold. I say, when I wake up, it's the first day of my new reality, every night. And I swear, things shift while I sleep. This isn't hype, this is what happens when you stop chasing, stop hoping, and start agreeing with your power. What you're reading, practicing, and speaking into your life is not passive information, it's active transformation, and the key isn't time, it's alignment. All 3 of those testers said the same thing in different ways. They decided, they claimed the shift, and the shift claimed them back. So if you're wondering, can this really work for me? The answer is simple, it already is. The moment you begin to believe it. You don't have to wait for years of effort. You don't need someone else to give you permission. You are your own proof. The shift begins with your choice. And as these readers showed, when you apply the truths in this book with consistency and emotion, even for just a few days, reality moves. This segment is here to remind you, you're not alone, this works, and it's already working through you. Now, it's your turn to be the next example, the next confirmation, the next story someone else hears and says, if it happened for them, it can happen for me. Because it can, and it will, and you're already in motion. Letting go so it can show up. You've done the work? You've claimed the vision, you've spoken the truth. Now comes the part that most people get wrong. Surrender. And no, it doesn't mean giving up. It doesn't mean letting go of the desire. It means letting go of the resistance. Because the moment you begin gripping the outcome, worrying about how it will happen, when it will happen, or if it will happen, you shift out of alignment and into control. And control is rooted in fear. You can't attract from a place of fear. You can only attract from a place of certainty. And certainty doesn't chase. Certainty doesn't beg. Certainty knows. If it's mine in frequency, it's mine in form. So the law of surrender is this. Once you've done your inner alignment, step back. Detach from the outcome, and trust the delivery. Let the universe do its part. Let the people, places, and situations rearrange behind the scenes. Let the timelines collapse in ways your mind can't predict. Because your job is not to manage the mechanism, your job is to hold the state. Think of it like ordering from a cosmic restaurant. You place your order, the desire. You align your energy, the frequency. Then you let the kitchen do the rest, the surrender. You don't run into the kitchen, demand updates, or second guess the ingredients, you relax into the knowing. What I ordered is being prepared. It's coming exactly how it's meant to. I'm just getting ready to receive it. Surrender is not weakness, surrender is strength. It says, I've done my part, I trust the rest, and from that place of peace things flow. That's when the unexpected call comes, the email, the breakthrough, the divine alignment you never saw coming, because you were no longer blocking it with your grip. So how do you practice surrender? Breathe. Say, it's handled. Move your focus to gratitude. Walk through your day like someone who trusts the unseen. And remember, you don't manifest by holding tighter, you manifest by holding clearer and releasing sooner. Let it go. Let it flow. Let it come. You've already called it in. Now step aside and let it arrive. Your new reality has already begun. Now live it forward. Take a breath. You've come far. You've just journeyed through 20 powerful, vibrational segments, each one designed to awaken, realign, and rewire you from the inside out. But here's the truth. This wasn't the finish line. This was your launch pad. You're not done. You're beginning. This moment, right now, is day 1 of your new reality. The old you is behind you. Not abandoned, just outgrown. The version of you that doubted, delayed, and deferred their power, they've served their purpose. They brought you here. Now it's time to walk forward with a new voice inside. I don't wait to feel aligned. I live aligned. I don't chase. I choose. I don't beg. I broadcast. I don't hope. I command. This is your new normal. You've learned how to hold a frequency long enough to bend reality. You've discovered the 18-second key. You've rewritten subconscious agreements. You've stopped chasing and started embodying. And most importantly, you've remembered who you really are. A conscious creator. A walking portal of possibility. A field of intention wrapped in skin. So where do you go from here? You practice, you live, you repeat, you wake up each day and declare, this is day B of my new reality, and I'm still expanding. And when old patterns try to return, you recognize them not as regressions, but as reminders of how far you've come. You smile. You shift. You move on. Because now you have tools. You have language. You have clarity. You have power. And that's something no one can take from you, because it came from within. So here's how we end. You don't end. You rise. You turn the final page of this guide not as a reader, but as a rememberer. You remember your role as the architect of your experience. And from this moment forward, you walk differently. You speak differently. You breathe differently, because you're no longer waiting to manifest your dreams, you're living inside them. This is only the beginning. Now go live it. Time to choose your next step. Choose wisely. Book link in the description of this video.